There's a common saying, it's just like riding a bike. It means that something should feel common, and it's something you're used to. But what if you forget how to ride a bike? Not literally forgetting how to pedal and turn, but like you forget how you once rode. Some people call it trail trauma, perhaps PTSD. You might have experienced it before, but I don't think it's talked about all that much in the mountain biking world. Recently, I have felt a strange feeling. Biking went from feeling natural, like second nature, to feeling uniquely strange, like I had never done it before. The horrendous feeling I felt is somewhere between anxiety and grief. It feels like failure and disappointment. When I got on my bike, my legs felt like jelly, and my arms felt like noodles. A dark cloud formed in and over my head, and the very thing that allowed me to depart from stress and anxiety was now the cause of it.
I'm trying to get back to not how I used to bike, and trying to be okay, be confident about your stance and everything. Oh man, this is not real, man. Felt pretty good. For me, I don't know, this is, I don't know. I'm trying to doubt trail trauma in order to make sure that for me, it's no, I'm gonna suppress it and not deal with it.
I experienced trail trauma and I didn't even know it. As I've talked about a couple times on this channel, I had a biking accident in the fall of 2022, which landed me in the ICU with a concussion, lung contusion, and lots of soreness through my shoulder and back. Frankly, I'm lucky to be alive and not far worse. A huge part of the impact I took directly onto my head. Because the injury happened in the fall toward the end of biking season, I did not have a chance to hop on a bike until the spring. My assumption was that I was going to pick up where I left off, just with less stamina and endurance. To my surprise, there are many more areas that I needed to recover in than just my cardio. My mental space was completely gone. Getting back in the saddle was harder for me, more emotionally than it was physically. On one hand, I was thrilled to be getting back into biking. On the other hand, I was absolutely terrified of having another accident. Trauma occurs when you have an intense emotional response to a damaging event. This can be either physically, emotionally, psychologically, or a combination of the above. Some may know this as PTSD. Additionally, there's a physiological response to trauma, including high levels of adrenaline, which engage fight or flight. As bikers, many of us live at an intersection of biking, where the sport helps us to release stress while we seek to push the levels at which we want to taste the adrenaline. The emotions and physical responses are here to essentially protect you from harm, but what happens when they prevent you from performing your favorite activity, like riding a bike at your best? As we ride without dealing with the trauma, we begin to face a number of obstacles. We fear riding features we once were able to. We get frustrated when we cannot keep up with our friends. We begin to overthink how we ride. We become doubtful that we will ever enjoy biking in days gone by. We have a looming anxiousness that comes when we touch those handlebars. Not everyone experiences trail trauma after a major accident. Some of us are fully capable of dusting ourselves off and going back out like nothing happened. But for those of us that have lingering feelings, flashbacks of falls, or don't feel the same, we have to work through the trauma if we want to ride again. The first thing is that we have to be patient. It might be a while before we experience that old joy again. It may take miles, or it may take months, but it is worth knowing that it might not be back right away. We also need humility. Perhaps today is not that day to hit that drop or chomp through that rock garden. It's perfectly fine to walk a section that you're used to flying through until you can work through the myriad of emotions that come. You might also need a friend or two along the way. The kind of friend that will push you and support you, but not pressure you to commit to dumb things that you're not ready for. The last thing you'll need to overcome trauma is an overwhelming kindness towards yourself. I used to be angry and so frustrated with myself because I used to be able to ride a lot better. I used to be able to hit those gaps and fly through the trees. But I needed to be kind to myself and give my body the time to heal and my mind to process the emotion. Only after realizing that I did not need to be where I once was I able to get through the mental barrier and bike at my best. Biking, funnily enough, is not a race, unless it is a race. But it's not a race, even against yourself. I think that trail trauma is not talked about enough. While working through this, I didn't find many resources on mountain biking specifically to help. Therefore, my encouragement to you is that you can work through trail trauma. It is possible to excel in biking like you used to. Be nice to yourself and give it a lot of time to heal. There's no timeline for you getting back, but I know you can do it. Find people to help you talk through your experiences, even in the comment section below. Until next time.